Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Craig May, everybody!
Gee golly jeepers, guys. Everyone, thanks for coming out. Look at you. Full room of people having their drinks. Yeah, my name's Craig. It is a pretty stupid name. I'm thinking about having it legally changed to Texas. That way, then people will stop messing with me. Yeah. Everyone, who's here on a date tonight? 2 people are here on a date. I just fucked up the mic stand. Who here came by themselves tonight? You're clapping. Who here came as a third wheel because your friends were getting real concerned about you and they thought this might be a good time to come out and be social at a comedy club? When in reality, basically, they saw you buying those Magic the Gathering cards and they got real concerned about you. And really, the only reason you actually came out is because you have a crush on your friend's boyfriend or girlfriend and you thought that this is the night that maybe they'll choke on like an olive or something and you can step in and take over. Good for you, you came out tonight. I'll talk about this thing that happened at my day job. When I'm not doing comedy, I work customer service in retail. And this weird thing happened where I was helping this lady and there was a lady waiting behind her, and what the lady at the very end of the line thought she would do when she would comment on the lady in front of her's handbag. And so she goes, "Oh, that's a real nice handbag you got there. It's real big. It looks like it can hold a lot of stuff." And then the lady in front of her just turns around and goes, "Yeah, it could hold about 3 babies' heads," and then she just walked away. Like that wasn't the most batshit insane thing anyone's ever said before. I mean, she could have said like it could have held like anything else and it would have like not sounded crazy. She could have been like, "Yeah, I could hold about like 6 pounds of Mike and Ike's," and then we would have been both like, "Yeah, that's not crazy. Yeah, I can see that. Mike and Ike's. Can I have some?" But I'm worried that basically she really truly believes that baby heads are like a measurement of mass and volume. And that, that's crazy. And we can test out this hypothesis, people. We can go to a dealership and when they go to say that you want to buy a car, when they ask you how big you want it to be, and you say, "I want it to hold at least 50 baby heads," and then just walk away. And if they don't call the cops on you, then apparently you're not crazy. Good gravy. Everyone, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. It's a lot of happy people. If you're happy and you don't know it, ask a friend, and then based on what they tell you, you can decide on whether it is or you want to or not clap at all. If you're not happy and you know it, don't clap your hands. You're not happy at all. Why would you? That's a waste of energy. If you're not happy and you don't know it, don't ask your friends what they think, because you're probably the type of person that likes to vent about your crappy job on stage to people, poisoning the world with your negativity. Good gravy. I'm going to talk about that type of person really quick. They got these people out there, they don't know how to use Facebook right. They, they'll post really weird, ambiguous things like, "I had a bad day today," and then that was it, They basically are emotional fishing. They want you to inquire about what happened, and that's the only way they know how to communicate with the world. And then they'll do this one, which is the polar opposite. "I love everybody," and then you're just like, this is new. That'll keep them alive for another week, I guess. And then what's going on inside your mind is like, okay, 1, what are you on? 2, where did you get it? 3, can I have some? 4, no, really, can I have some? 5, do you remember the time that I picked you up out of the coast at like 3 in the morning and I had to work the next day? Everyone thought that I was on drugs that day, so you kind of owe me. 6, if you don't hook me up, I'm going to tell your mother about the time that I had to pick you up out of the coast at 3 in the morning because you hooked up with a guy on Craigslist and he stole your car. 6. I didn't know that your mother died. Kind of makes sense why you're taking those pills now. 7, but how about that crazy earthquake that happened last week, huh? Whoa, my DVDs fell all over the floor. 8, I didn't know that your mom died in that earthquake. Gee golly jeepers, I'm sorry. Drugs aren't that big of a problem anymore. I mean, like, how many of you went through the DARE program? Or do you know what the DARE program is? Clive, if you know what that is. I don't know if it's still going or not. It's a program by your local police department where they come to your school. It's called Drug Abuse Resistance Education. They come to your school and they basically, they teach kids about the effects of drugs and alcohol and they basically make you sign a pledge saying that you're not going to have any fun later on in life. And the exchange was that they gave you like a t-shirt and like a trip to like your local roller rink or whatever. And it was supposed to be good. You were supposed to be clean and straight edge for the rest of your life. I like to think that because you signed that pledge, that later on in life, if you got caught with like possession or something, that your punishment was different. So we got you, and clearly that trip to Skate World and that t-shirt meant nothing to you. So your punishment is that we're gonna feed you to McGruff the crime dog. You mean that cartoon dog in a trench coat? No, it's a real dog. He's over there. He's been eating junky kids all day. He's gonna take a bite out of crime. I think I might be done with drugs for a little while. I smoke marijuana on the often, and not after what happened recently. I kind of went too far, and basically, I just was left alone to my own devices at home. And I made the mistake of ordering a pizza with my computer on the internet. And everything, I was looking forward to it and everything. I was sitting down, just waiting on the couch, just waiting for it to come. And then I get a confirmation for the purchase on my phone, and it says, "Thanks for the pizza purchase. You've agreed to pay in cash." And I'm like, shit. I clicked the wrong payment method. I was supposed to do card, but I was too embarrassed to call them to let them know that I wanted to pay with card. But I was not embarrassed enough to let them know that I wasn't there and that they could not deliver the pizza to me. They're like, "Man, he's gonna be there in like 10 seconds. And I'm like, it doesn't matter because I'm not there. And so I locked the door and then I turned off the light. And I sat in the dark on the couch quietly as I heard footsteps walking up to the door and I heard knock, knock, knock. I'm like, oh man. I didn't think I'd be at this point in my life where I'd be hiding from the pizza guy. And then I like to think that he went out down to his car and sat in the car and just sighed and went, I didn't think I'd be at this point in my life where I'd be delivering pizzas to people that weren't answering the door. I'm gonna go back to school. And then he did, and he became a veterinarian's assistant. I changed his life that day. I had sort of a tough time growing up as a kid. I was a stupid kid, and I didn't understand a lot of terms. I took things the wrong way. The term that I misunderstood the most was the term sex offender. And nothing bad happened to me because of this misunderstanding. I just misunderstood it on a very literal sense. That the term sex offender meant a person who was so bad at sex it was just considered offensive. That the government made you go door to door telling people how bad at sex you were. So in my child mind, I believed that this is what happened in the world, basically, on a day-by-day basis. Knock, knock, knock. Hi, my name's Chester. I'm moving in across the street right here. I'm bound by the law to inform you that I'm terrible at sex. So bad that it's considered offensive. I'll be doing it in there. Hopefully you don't ever have to see it because it's bad. I'm an auto mechanic and I noticed you have like a Geo in your parking lot leaking oil. Come to me for that. not for sex. It's been nice talking to you. Here's a complimentary balloon bouquet. I made this myself. I'm gonna go do my rounds. I get asked every once in a while, Craig, when's your next show gonna happen? And I unfortunately don't have a website to like forward people to tell them like, you know, show times and dates and everything. Because the domain name craigmay.com has already been taken, because back in 2003 there was another Craig May, and that Craig May died. And what that Craig May's parents thought would be a really nice thing to do would be to make a memorial website in his honor. So what I thought I would do is that I'd write a letter to his parents saying why I should have the domain name. Dear Mr. and Mrs. May, my name is Craig May. Weird, I know, right? I'm a comedian from Portland, Oregon, and I think it would sure be swell if I could have that domain name that you use for your dead son's memorial website. Because really, what's your son been updating people about? Nothing. Because he's totally dead. I looked online and saw that CraigMaysDead.com is very much up for grabs. That kind of makes more sense, don't you think? Just throwing that out there. I realize that this letter may come off as an insensitive shock, and I'd be willing to talk about it in person. The trip would be no problem to me. Problem for me, because I'm a great driver, much better than your son was anyhow. Give it some thought, but not too much. Love, Craig May. Gee golly jeepers, you guys are pretty great. I want you to know that already. This is the part of the show where I do crowd work. Hi, what's your name? Clint? Nice to meet you, Clint. Clint, if everyone in this room found out that your head was a piñata and they decided to bust it open, what type of candy would it be filled with? Zagnuts. I can see that. For me, I would want gummy bears, but not that Haribo shit because that gives you diarrhea. That's the end of the crowd work. But sure, I never do crowd work. Do you guys like my beard at all? I grew it out for you. I get asked a lot, Craig, how do you achieve that full thickness? And I've done the research, and I can tell you step by step on how to go about doing that. So first off, you get yourself into a committed, loving relationship, and then you get dumped. And then you get in your car, and you go to McDonald's, and you go through their drive-thru, and you order one McChicken and one McDouble. And then you park your car in their parking lot, and then you make sure you have the song Greensleeves playing on a constant loop. And you take the patty from the McChicken, and you sandwich it in between the patties of the McDouble, and then that's given birth to something called the McGangbang. And then you lean back, and then take a bite and let the horrible depression consume you. Because the tears will come, and they work like Miracle Grow. And that's how you grow a beard. We got some beards here. It does work. I went to a metal show recently. A metal show. Because I'm a 30-year-old man and I like to have a rip-roaring good time just like everyone else. I told my mom about it on the phone and she got all concerned. And she's like, oh, that metal show, that's a dangerous place, all those people, you gotta be careful. And I'm like, that's kind of understandable, like, you go to a room with a bunch of angry white people and they're playing this music that basically when it goes into your ear holes, it makes you just want to put your fist into every face around you. And, but yeah, it's fun. You dance and you look like you're fighting off invisible monsters and it's a good time. That's how I relieve stress. But then I got really defensive and I just started attacking the music that her and my dad like, because what they like is they like new age music. And the only type of people that like New Age music are high-strung, anxious, angry people. And that's the only thing keeping them from fucking going nuts, going to their job and decapitating all their coworkers' bobbleheads. The soothing sounds of Enya, John Tesh, and Yanni. And the very thought of being in like a concert, going to a concert for one of those things, is frightening because you're just surrounded by all these angry, high-strung, and anxious people. And if Enya gets like one little hiccup in her throat, and goes into like a coughing frenzy, it's going to turn into a goddamn bloodbath. So that next time someone gives you a ticket to an Enya concert, that means they want you to die. Whether they think you're an angry person, that you need to calm down. I'm going to do one more joke. Actually, I'll do two more jokes. You guys are fucking great. I want you to know that. Give it up for yourselves really quick. This is a joke that I wrote yesterday. Craig, it must be really great to be big and tall, huh? I'm sure that's awesome. That's a sentence that gets said to me on the regular. And I guess it's alright. You can get like the cookies at the top of the fridge. But if you're at any grocery store, every old lady will want you to help them grab something up very high, and you're like, I'll do it, but I don't fucking work here. Come on. It's nice though, but at night, because of how big I am, in the dark I can look pretty frightening. And this thing will happen when I get off the bus, and I just so happen to be getting off the bus at the same time as somebody else, and we happen to be walking in the same direction that they think I'm stalking them. And I become super aware of it, and I want this like uncomfortable feeling to go away immediately. So I have a couple options of how I can deal with this, and I'm going to tell you about it right now. So first off, option number one, I can stop, and I can get down and tie my shoes for like 30 seconds, hopefully creating a buffer of time between me and the person in front of me, and hopefully they've been gone. Hopefully they're gone. Option number two, when I'm tying my shoe and they still haven't gotten farther away because they have tiny legs and I walk really slow and I'm very tall, and I walk really fast, I just yell at them. I'm like, hey, I just want you to know that I'm not following you, and I just so happen to be walking in the same direction as you. I just want you to know that. Good night. They probably didn't even know I was walking behind them. And they'll be creeped out. They won't be scared, they'll be creeped out, and that's the better of the two evils. Option number three is that I start walking very, very fast so that you can pass them. You gotta be careful though, because if you're making sounds, it'll sound like you're advancing on them, and that leaves you open to being either punched in the face, or maced, or munched, which is a combination of being maced and punched. It's when they spray mace on their knuckles, and then they punch you in the eyeballs. And you're like, two types of pain, both stinging and physical. This is about as bad as the time I decided to high-five that burning fire. And so those are the three options, and I'm hoping that they work. This is the last joke, and I'm going to get out of here. And I'm sorry that I screwed up the mic stand. I really am. Because I won't be able to put the mic back in there without it falling over. I want to talk about my day job again, customer service and retail. And I want to talk about the type of customer that I like the least. The lottery customer. Fuck them. They like to say these things that they think are funny and quippy and cute, but they're not after the millionth time. Oh, can't win if you don't play. Craig, if I win the Powerball, you're not going to have to work another day in your life. Thanks for that empty promise that you and every single person has made today. I've been hearing it for the last 5 years, and I'm just fucking hoping somebody wins. And I will call them on their shit. And I just hope that somebody, I just want somebody to come in and say something different, basically. I would love if some guy came up and said, Craig, I'd like a $5 Megabucks ticket. And you know what? I thought I'd let you know that last night I made love to my wife in a bathtub full of Captain Crunch's Oops All Berries. And it was great. have a good day. And I'm like, thanks, that's so different and awesome. And we high five and part ways. I want something like that. Unfortunately, the Cosmos heard this plea because something like this did happen. And this guy came out of the woodwork, and I smelled him before I saw him. He smelled like week old rotten Lunchables. He was wearing Crocs, sweatpants that he cut off into shorts, and a fanny pack. And he shambled up to the counter, and he locked eyes with me, and he goes, I'd like a $5 Megabucks ticket. Did you know that you're more likely to die from a Black Widow spider bite than you are to win the lottery? And that's really weird, but it's interesting, but he smells, so I'm just trying to speed things along and get him out of there. Did you know that 7 people died from Black Widow spider bites last year? And then he just starts talking about every single type of poisonous bug that can kill a human being. And then I'm like, wait a second. This guy doesn't care about lottery at all. This is just the only time and situation in which he can segue and talk about his weird, sick thing. And it's creepy. But you have to be nice to creepy, because you don't know how they're going to react when you say things to them. You'll be like, hey, that'll be $5 for that ticket, sir. And he's just going to lock eyes with you and unzip that fanny pack and just grab a handful of Black Widow spiders and go, jackpot. You guys have been fantastic. That's been my time.